Although the drop in oil prices is likely to be short-lived, the U.S. shale oil industry is going to be hit the worst. A lot of the heavily indebted energy companies are clearly going to go bankrupt. $50 to $60 a barrel is kind of a minimum for a lot of these guys to survive. But it is the banks that are expected to take the biggest hit for the oil price drop. The fracking industry was an attempt to make money off of high oil prices by going into the ground in a new way and depleting other oil resources that the United States had. The fracking companies, and here comes the big part, did not use their own money. They borrowed huge amounts of money from America's biggest banks to fund the enormous expense of setting up the infrastructure to pull that oil out of the ground. The problem is when the price of oil collapses the way it did yesterday, the fracking companies cannot generate enough income to repay the bank loans that are out and due from them. Everybody who's in this business knows that with the fracking companies going down with the 50% drop in their share values, you're looking at banks that are trembling right now. And that is going to have to call in other loans to other parts of our economy to cover the losses that they're experiencing as the fracking companies tell them we can't repay. Where this plays out, is who else will be hurt in this tumult. This is not just the problem of a coronavirus or of an oil price change, this is a reality in which the basic patient here, the American economy, is so vulnerable. Our economy is so hyped up on credit ever since 2008 that we are now in a position of enormous vulnerability where anything can prove to be the straw that breaks this business back. $50 is pretty much what analysts have determined as the break-even point for the energy producers in the U.S. So when oil goes below $50, that means they are unable to service their debts. That will entirely trigger a rolling bankruptcy across the entire sector. And that will hit the financial sector because all their outstanding loans will eventually default, and the banks are going to be the ones taking the hit for it. It's about time the banks took a hit for something considering how much we were forced to pay them and continue to do so as a result of their own massive corruption.